I thought this was an interesting post from Jeremy over at Geeks and Gamers. I saw Inside Out 2 based on Kristen Nova's recommendation. It's good. Very good. It's amazing what happens when there's no agenda-driven BS. People can actually enjoy a movie. And then Sarah88 asks, are they learning? He says, no, I doubt it, and I agree. This movie's interesting. So it's doing well. Very, very well. $155 million box office debut. That's impressive because, as they point out here, it's the biggest since Barbie. So could this movie go all the way? I don't know. I don't know what kind of family movies are coming out because that's what this is supposed to be, a family movie. And surprisingly, I think this helped it. I was looking at the marketing for the movie, going by articles and seeing what people were saying about it. And there's something that's different about this Pixar movie. There's marketing is pretty straightforward. No weird shit about, LBG kisses or any of that stuff. Because remember Lightyear? Lightyear and Strange World are the two that I want to talk about the most with this. Because Strange World was all about its gay protagonist. Every article was talking about how great and groundbreaking it was. Well, it didn't break any ground at the box office. It flopped. That's not a Pixar movie, but I'm just using it as an example with the usual bullshit that Disney does. I mean, look at what's going on with The Acolyte. It's all about, we're going to see Star Wars through a queer lens and all this shit, and lesbians are making Force babies. They're leaning all in when it comes to like woke marketing. That's what I like to call it. Lightyear did the same thing. That was a huge disaster for Pixar. I haven't seen Lightyear still. I don't know what that plot is for the movie, but I can tell you this. There's a lesbian kiss in the movie, right? Or something like that. That's what that movie leaned into for its marketing. There was a focus on that. Like that was going to bring people into the theater, which is stupid. As far as I've seen, this movie did not do that. It just did safe, regular marketing. And it paid off. It paid off pretty big. Now, are they going to learn from this? Probably not. Disney does not have a lot of shit coming out this year. Not a lot of movies coming out. There's this, and of course, Deadpool and Wolverine, which is probably going to do really good as well. They're talking about 200 million plus, which would make it the biggest R-rated opening of all time, I think. But yeah, I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, look at this. You got matched up scores. Fresh, 91% from critics and 96% from audiences. Where are the positive review bombing articles? It's not being review bombed. I think people just genuinely like the movie. 91%, let's see, with the all critics. Top critics only goes down to 88%. 91% all critics. Pretty impressive. All audience, 95%. Verified, 96%. I think it's safe to say people enjoy this movie. So it's probably going to have good word of mouth. And that's going to bring more people in to see this movie. And it's likely going to give Disney their first win in a long, long time. What is the last big hit that they had that they could be proud of and really champion around? I can't think. I think maybe they tried to say that Elemental found its legs on streaming. How does that pay the bills, though? You still have tons of churn on Disney Plus, and you pay yourself for Disney Plus movies. This movie is probably going to make money. I think it probably already has made money for them, though it's a Disney budget, so I'm sure it's high. But I think it's safe to say this movie will probably bring in money. And I do think that it's the fact that they didn't put any weird marketing out there. I don't see anybody. There's no arguing about this movie. There's no controversial takes with this movie. It's, from what I've seen and going by, I trust Jeremy in his opinion here and what he's saying. It sounds like there's no woke shit in it either. And if there is, it's probably very minimal. Because I think we talked about this on Flashcast for a minute, and there were people in the chat saying there were some things, but it's minimal. I haven't seen anybody say anything about it, but I do think that and the marketing is playing a factor. People will just want to get out with their families because this is a family movie. Even says here, this guy's saying, bro, it's a movie for teenage girls. What the WTF? And he says, I have a teenage daughter, you weirdo. And something to take her to the movies to see. And I think people want to do that. They want to go out with their families and they want to see stuff, but they want to see stuff that's not full of bullshit. And this is delivering it. I mean, you compare this to the shit that they've done with Marvel and Star Wars, and it's bombed every time. This weird shit that they've been doing with movies and entertainment, it doesn't work. Trying to make I did a video on this, and I think this is very interesting. You know, you get to see what women actually like. It's Marvel's Agent Carter and Loki. That's the biggest shit. And The Mandalorian, right? And look at what they make. Echo. Dudes are who wouldn't to see that? I don't know. I don't know why. We'll watch it on Disney Plus or whatever, but it's just interesting stuff. And, you know, I know some people are going to say Disney did it right with this one, so I'll give them some props for doing it right. I think people forget, the majority of people out there aren't paying as much attention to this kind of stuff as a lot of we are, right? I think that people, for a lot of cases, judge things on a product-by-product basis. And you look at this one, no one's talking about weirdo stuff with it, and there's no weirdo marketing for it. It paid off. Now, you would think, well, Disney learned from this. And, wow, we should probably roll it back and maybe be a little bit more safe for families, which are our bread and butter. No, Disney won't learn from this. In fact, I would argue it'll probably make them more emboldened to put out bullshit. They're going to have a good year this year. Mufasa will probably do well. It looks like this movie will do extremely well. I wouldn't even rule out it getting close to $1 billion at this point, unless there's going to be a bunch of kids' movies that come out of the gate. Deadpool and Wolverine going to do big gang-busting numbers. It's going to more than likely hit $1 billion for sure, unless it's just awful. Unless it's a big piece of shit. And I just don't think that's going to happen. I think it's probably going to be an okay movie. So they're going to have these big hits, you know, and they're going to say, oh, wow, look at us. We did so good. Now they're going to put out all their shit, and they're going to go right back to hell because they won't learn from this. There's not a lot coming out from them, like I said. In fact, here's the list, working list, because some of these could get delayed. All right, we don't want to look at 2026. We're going to focus on 2024, and this is it. Those are it. Those two movies. And there's no other Marvel stuff. Just Deadpool and Wolverine. I think that's it. There might be a Disney Plus show. I think Agatha comes out. But as far as box office numbers, it looks like there's going to be 3 more movies. Deadpool and Wolverine, Mufasa, and this other movie. I don't even know what that one is either. I don't know. Maybe this one will do good too. They're going to probably have a good year this year. Next year, it's going to be a little bit different. Snow White, probably going to be a colossal flop. Bambi, that's up in the air. They don't even have a date for that. Toy Story 5, that's 2026. They might change some of these dates, but will they learn from any of this? No, they won't. But it is nice to see the point that a lot of us have made, is that if you give people what they want, they will show up for it. Will they learn? Probably not. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Did you see Inside Out 2? What were your thoughts on it? If you watched it, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell, and I will see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.